Hello and welcome to On the Ladder with Anthony. In this video, I want to talk about what I think is probably the most important first step in getting ready to get on the property ladder, and that is find out what you can afford. This is key. As a first-time buyer, one of the key things you need to know is when you are purchasing a property and you are going to get financing from a lender, they're going to assess your affordability. What does that mean? They're going to look at your income, so what you get from your salary, any dividends you might earn, whatever income you earn. The lender will use that to make an assessment of what they think you can afford to borrow. When you are getting ready to start your property journey, one of the key things is to get in your head an idea of what you can afford. Typically, most lenders will lend about 4.5 times your income as a mortgage. So whatever you earn, multiply that by 4.5, and that would give you a sense of what kind of mortgage you can get from a particular lender. It's always key to have this in mind because it enables you to understand what is your shopping range in terms of what you can afford. If when you do the maths, it says your affordability is your lender will give you a mortgage of £150,000, then there's potentially no point in you looking at a £200,000 house because it might be difficult to finance that purchase. So it's always good to know what is your starting point when you are getting ready to get on the property ladder. The good thing with also assessing your affordability is you know how much deposit you need to put down, because if you know that you're likely to be able to get a 150k mortgage and you can find a 20 grand deposit, then you know you're looking at about £170,000 house as what's in your range of affordability. So it really helps you narrow down what you should be looking for and then get you a sense of what you can afford in each area, because it might actually open your mind a bit. When I was buying property for the first time, I'm from London, but I know that I couldn't afford London. And if I could afford London, it was probably going to be a 1-bedroom studio flat, which is not really what I wanted. But once I had in my head what I could afford based on my income, I started to look elsewhere to say, okay, well, what could this get me in Nottingham, in Derby, in these kind of areas? And you might want to do the same thing too, because let me tell you now, £300,000 in London can get you a very different property from £300,000 in Nottingham. I mean, if you're going Nottingham with £300,000, you're probably getting 5 bedrooms, lots of land. You're going to get the full work. £300,000 in London, well, maybe a 1-bedroom. Maybe, depending on what areas you're looking at. So that's the key first step in starting your property journey. Do a brief affordability assessment by, as I said, multiplying what you earn by 4.5. That will give you a sense of what most lenders will give you as a mortgage. Some, like Nationwide, have recently announced a scheme called Help in Hand, where they're looking to give first-time buyers 6 times their income as a potential mortgage. So that's good. But the industry standard is typically 4.5. So whatever you earn, times that by, I'm talking about your gross, I should have made that clear. Your gross income, times that by 4.5, and that will give you an idea of what you could borrow potentially from a lender. And then that will give you a sense of, again, what you need to start thinking as a deposit. You can even start doing some affordability calculation using some mortgage calculators that said, okay, if I got this mortgage, what might my monthly payments be? So this is the first part in your journey. Get a sense of what you can afford so you can start planning how you can then budget and save to meet your goals, to be able to get to that point where you can afford this particular property. Yeah, I'm not saying this is your limitation, because even if your affordability says it's only £150,000, maybe you might even work harder then to get a bigger deposit to buy that £200,000 home, because you might say, okay, well, I don't really want a £170,000 home because I'm starting to plan a family and whatever it might be. You might want some guest rooms and guest space, and you might want to study, whatever it might be. You might say, okay, well, I might save a bit more then, say 50 grand deposit, so I can get a bigger house. But it's always good to know what your starting point is by doing that affordability calculation to then be able to build on from that initial starting point. I hope you found that very useful, very interesting, and it should give you a really good sense of this is the first part in your planning journey, because this is a very powerful planning tool to help you know what you can afford and then help you build towards what you can afford. If you found value, please like and subscribe and share with those who may also get value from this information. And if you want more in-depth detailed information and actually be able to speak to me one-to-one direct, then you can join my community, the links below. Follow me on socials. I also post insights and information there too. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for tuning into the channel, and have a great day wherever you are. Take care.